Alright, I got a little antsy and I forgot to record some of this stuff, even though it didn't really matter. So over the last few hours, I had some interest in some of the parts, so I sold all the wheels. Well, all the ones that were any good anyways. And I sold the passenger side seat. And I'm going to be meeting someone tomorrow to bring them to them. And then I took the doors off so I could get in and out of here easier and eliminate some dangerous, sharp objects that used to be all over in this quadrant. So yeah, right now I'm draining the oil. Getting some of the fluids out of here. The oil looks really gross and bad, so that's probably a reason why the engine won't start. It just clicks. So I have a feeling it's been sitting for more than 3 years, so it might be seized somewhere. So we'll start tearing into it here over the next month or so, and I'll share the progress with you guys. So after I drain out all the oil, I'll move on to the coolant. We'll drain the coolant out, and then I'll have to schedule someone to come over and evacuate the gas from the air conditioning, because you don't want to do that in the atmosphere. It's not good for the environment. Try to be responsible. So that's what we got so far. I got jack stands underneath it too, in the front. I need to get 2 more so that I can safely support the back. Right now I've got just my speed jack under there, and it's in like the worst place ever because I want to walk through here and keep having to hop over that. And if I take the handle off the jack, this part is spring loaded and it'll lift up. And if it lifts up, you'll never be able to push it down with your hands because you're going to be pushing on the weight of the car. Ask me how I know that. But earlier I had to cut into the trunk to get the lug key out of here because it was jammed down in here. I mean, I can't even lift it up early to get my hand in there. It's just wedged in from this whole side being crushed in. But I did get the key out. It was a pain in the butt, but I got it. And it almost didn't survive. It did take some damage. It is busted on the inside. I can't get it off of here right now. The nut is stuck inside, but trust me, it's messed up. And I was very, very lucky to get the wheels off. And yeah, we'll just stop from there. And then I'll do another update. We'll probably do some time lapse when I start tearing the motor apart. All right, so we did get the fluids all drained out. Now we're going to start taking apart the exhaust system. Just do a little bit at a time with the time that I have. So you can see the equal length headers. These are stainless steel, and I had them ceramic coated. So it should be like brand new looking underneath that dust. See that? Other than like an oil spot here or there. These are really nice. Had a gentleman online has a setup at his house, and he did that for me. And I want to say it was 0.01 millimeters thickness or something like that, something insane. So that when you coat something like a nut and a bolt, the thickness is so thin that it doesn't cause any friction. When you put the nut and bolt back together, like the threads are still nearly the same size. But we're going to take off the up pipe right now from the headers. Once we get that off, I can pull the headers off, and then we'll work our way down the whole exhaust system. The whole thing is 3-inch stainless steel. There's a nice big giant dent. You probably can't see it on the video right here. I'm guessing that's from a forklift or something lifting it up. Whatever. But I'm not going to film this part. It's going to get dirty, and there's probably going to be some cursing involved. So we'll come back when it's out of the way. All right, here's some progress. I got the up pipe disconnected, and I got the gasket out. Got all the bolts off. This guy right here, all 3 of those. And then on the block, I started pulling out the head bolts for the exhaust manifold. I had to soak some of them with WD-40 because I couldn't break them loose. And there's not a lot of room inside here, so hopefully that'll help, penetrate and get in there and loosen that sucker up for me. And then same thing over here, the inside bolt right there. There's not a lot of room to get in there either. I can't fit a wrench very easily in there. I'll show you. I'll put a socket wrench up there so you can see what I'm talking about. So I have the socket on. There's not much room in there to turn. So we'll have to do that one a little bit later. So we'll come back when I finally get those off. Well, I had to move on to something else. That one last bolt on the exhaust header is a pain in my butt right now. So I'm going to have to get a 1/2-inch adapter for my impact gun before I can get it. So I went ahead and I pulled off the intercooler for the turbo. That is right here. Went in there just like so. So you just have the inlet from the turbo, and then the outlet to the intake manifold, and then the blow-off valve housing is right here. So I just took all the nuts and bolts off and I placed them back in the intercooler so that I don't have to go looking for them later, because I will lose them. Oh, and if you're doing this at home, don't break this hose right here. This hose is $380. This little red hose. Yeah, believe it. It's tiny. Mine has a chunk out of it, and I went to go buy a new one, and it was $380. So I said, I'll just deal with that. Let's put this over here for now. I'll wind up getting a box or something, or maybe some shelves to put up over here. So there's going to be a lot more parts. Okay, so I got the intercooler out of the way so that I could start working on the up pipe and the down pipe and the catback system going in and out of the turbo. Now, I've taken all this stuff apart before, but it was like 5 or 6 years ago. So it's going to take a minute. I know you got to get the heat shield off, and there's a bunch of stuff. And you need like 4 or 5 elbows and the hands of an 8-year-old. So my hands might have a bunch of cuts and scrapes on them later. So I'm not going to record this because there will be adult language involved. We'll come back when it's done. Alright, so we're back. We got the heat shield removed. I took the nuts and bolts off and I put them back after I removed it. And if you're wondering why this one looks different than the one you have on your car, it's because I modified it to fit the NVIDIA 3-inch catback. It's a lot larger than the factory one for breathing better. With engines, it's all about inhaling and exhaling. All the air they can get, fuel. So next we'll be taking these... we'll be taking off these bolts down here, and that'll let me get the up pipe off. So, and then I'll start disassembling the down pipe here too, and then we'll come back after I got that off. You see the bolts I put back. This was holding on the heat shield. All these guys. Alright, so we ran into a pretty big snag that's going to be a problem in the future. The wrenches that I have are cheap Harbor Freight wrenches, and this 14 millimeter wrench is now 14.5 millimeters. Put it on here, pull it with all my might, and it just slips. And if you see the bolt's not stripped. This wrench, let's see if I can get it on film. That's why my friends call me Torque Wrench, because if it's not good, I'll break it. I've got many socket wrenches that I've bent in half. I even tried to cut the open end on it, or the closed end, and then try to slide that over this little gap right here to fit around it, but since I cut that off, it just made it garbage, and it doesn't do anything. It just flips too. So we're going to wrap this up. This will be part 1. I need to save up for some better tools, and it's going to be a while. So, yeah. Alright, so we got the correct tool. It got me a 1/2 inch extension and a wobbly to get that last nut off the exhaust manifold. So, there she is. Got her off of there. Now I just need to save up and get some better wrenches so I can start dismantling the up pipe and the down pipe. I can probably get away with getting under here and pulling off the rest of the 3-inch cat back with what I have. So I'll probably go ahead and do that. But I'm going to wrap this video up for you guys. This will be part 2. Taking my time doing this slowly. I don't have a budget for anything whatsoever. So yeah. Wish I was like Kyle from Boosted Boys, and they got all kinds of stuff over there. Really cool shop and all kinds of tools. Or Brent with PFI Speed, and you should probably go check both those channels out too. They're really great. They're building 1,000 horsepower Honda engines. But yep, we still need to get this. I can't take this off without getting this one last nut off of here. I know I kept calling it a bolt in one of the other clips. Bolt, nut. Yes, I know the difference. Okay, so I did commandeer this shelf from the 3D printers, and I started putting parts up here because I'm not doing any printing right now. So if somebody does want something printed, I can still do it. I have them set up in my kitchen, at least one of them set up. But yeah, there we go. We're going to wrap this up for you guys. Check out that mangled mess. But if you guys have any questions or comments, pop those down at the bottom. And as always, keep building and try to be good to each other. We're not here for very long. Things can change just like that. This is proof.